how do we become self-reliant? We become self-reliant through obtaining sufficient knowledge, education, and literacy, by managing money and resources wisely, being spiritually strong, preparing for emergencies and eventualities, and by having physical health and social and emotional well-being.
Okay, thank you.
Notice it's not just managing money. Managing money is just one small part of that, but it's an important part.
So having physical health and social and emotional well-being is really important as well. Okay.
Okay, financial calculators. Lots of different ones out there. Why do we use ours? Mainly because it's free. It also does a couple of other things too. Number one, it calculates real returns correctly. I like it too because if you use a monthly interest rate, it automatically divides your interest rate by 12 or things like that. So it does a number of the calculations that make it a little bit easier. And the other thing we like is it standardizes our slides. So we can just put up one thing here so you can kind of see how it's done. For the first 10 years or 15 years, everyone had their own separate calculators that they paid anywhere from $40 to $60 for. And the nice thing about this is it's useful. The other thing that's nice too is we have the Google calculator too, so if people don't have Excel, they can use that Google one. So again, we're trying to get this information out, and you guys are welcome to share any of these things with others. Again, just a reminder, when you download this file, the first thing you download the Excel file, you find it in the folder, then you open it, you click on Properties, and you click on Unblock and Apply and OK, and it works there. Also in the Google Sheets, so maybe on Monday we're going to have you use the Google Sheets calculator. So that one's, you're going to click on the file. There's a link to it on the Excel file. Click on Make a Copy. You're going to click on Clear, and it's going to come back and it say, hey, you've got to authorize. So you click on Authorize. You'll say OK. You'll choose an account. You have to be logged on to Google's to be able to use the Google calculator. And then you say Allow, then it'll work.
So does everyone have their computer and they have their calculator up? If you don't, please raise your hand if you can't do it.
What we're going to do today
is
so
you're going to come
we're going to do a problem. We're going to do a problem, and then you guys have to do it first. And then we're going to have one of the students. We're going to have Caleb be our guinea pig. So he's going to be our first one, and he'll do it to show us all how it's done. No pressure, Caleb. No, okay. Time value money, it just states that the value of money changes over time. With inflation, your value declines. With interest, the value increase. With time, the value will increase too. So what's wealth? Wealth is just your interest times growth times time. So the key is you want to make sure that what you're earning is greater than inflation, and then you are truly adding value.
So what is interest? So it can be interest that you earn, or if you borrow money, it can be, go ahead.
Is it like a rent?
Yeah.
You pay it, or
Yes.
it is paid to you?
Yeah.
It's like rent. Yes, either you pay it or it's paid to you.
And the smart people are the people who have it paid to you.
Right, right. Okay, so any use of your money that results in a return on investment. On the long term, your interest must be higher than inflation in order for your investment to have increased purchasing power. Real returns. We're going to talk about what a real return is. Does anybody know what real return is? Anybody? It's okay. Yes.
It's adjusted for inflation.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. Perfect. So what is real return? The real return is the return on your investment after the impact of inflation is taken into account. And we have a formula for it. 1 plus the nominal interest divided by 1 plus the inflation rate minus 1. But we made it easier with our financial calculator.
If you know that little blue section there, that's just the formula.
What little blue section?
The blue section, you have interest, inflation, below, above that's the nominal return, and above that it calculates the real return.
On the calculator.
On the calculator.
So we're going to do problems. So Elder Sudweeks is going to bring up the calculator.
Okay, so here's the problem. Inflation is 20% a year, and your return is 30%. What's your real return?
Now there's a simple answer, but it's not right.
Yeah. know what they say? Every problem, there's a simple answer. That's wrong.
So everybody thinks it's 30 minus 20 is 10%. But if you put it in the calculator, it's not 10%. So this actually is on one of the quiz. So it's going to try to trick you, but you're not going to get tricked because you're going to know you have to put it into the calculator.
So the traditional and the incorrect method was nominal return minus inflation, which would be 30% minus 20 is 10%. But if you do it the correct way,
So if you answer 10% on the quiz, it will be wrong.
yeah. So it's 1.3 divided by 1.2 minus 1. Notice, would you like to get to the end of your retirement and find you have 20% less than you thought you should? So it's important that we calculate inflation correctly. So notice all you do is you just put in your nominal rate, inflation rate, and it automatically calculates it right here.
In the blue.
And that formula is just that 1 plus your nominal return divided by 1 plus inflation minus 1. Yes?
This is helpful because it helps us see the real number
Uh-huh.
at the end and
Yep.
not just like, oh, I have $1 million.
Right.
Is it worth $1 million?
Right, so let's go in here. Let's say you put in,
Go in here and put something else in.
because your return grows, increases it, and inflation eats away at it. So I used to work in asset management, and we had investments in Brazil. In 1993, inflation was like 2,391%. But we knew how to operate in hyperinflationary economies, and so we're still able to make money in that environment. But it's really important that you understand how to calculate things correctly. And so we don't have high inflation here, but generally it's important, or it's really important that you calculate. And then also to see what's the impact. And we'll talk today a little bit about that impact. So okay, here's a problem. It's actually 3 different problems. Calculate the value and future value in 15 years of $5,000 earning 8%. And this is how you're using your calculator. So, which allows compounding. And then $5,000 earning 8%, but there's no interest on interest. It's just getting interest. And then the section part is how much did your interest on interest earn? So this is a 2-step problem.
So we're going to show you the difference between compounding and non-compounding. So we're going to show you why compounding is really good. And so compounding is when you get interest paid on top of your interest. So every time you make interest, it adds into your sum, and then it compounds. And you keep making more money because it keeps adding into your amount that you have invested.
So let's go back here. So first of all, what do we want? So really a 2-step process here. We're going to calculate how much we made using compounding. Then we're going to calculate how much we would made without compounding. And then we're just going to calculate the difference. Okay, you want to move over to my side.
Which side? This side?
So what do we want that side here? So we had $15,000 or $5,000. We're earning 8% in 15 years. So we want to calculate how much will we earn. So do that with your computers. Okay, so 15,861. How many people got that? Okay.
That was with compounding once a year.
Now, simple interest, no interest on interest. What's the difference here? So if you have $5,000 and you earn 8%, how much interest are you going to earn in 1 year? What's 5,000 times 0.08? $400. So what's 400 times 15? 6,000. And then you add back the 5,000 you started. So if you had no interest on interest, how much would you make? You'd make $11,000. So how much did your interest on interest? How much did your interest on interest
Or
earn?
the compounding. How much did the compounding earn?
How much
More
did the
than
compounding
the simple
earn?
interest.
Yeah, almost $5,000. Mm-hmm. Is compounding important? Yeah.